Welcome back, Virtus Podcast season. I think this is still season 4. I'm out of touch now. I haven't done one for a while. Not that you have any idea, but we'll get to that. But I'm out of touch. It's been a while. I haven't done one for 8 to 10 weeks, so I hope everyone's glad to hear my voice again and get a break from... Well, technically you get the weekly one, so that's a little bit different. But, alas, before I start rambling on, as my normal podcast theme goes, special guest, Harold.
Thank you.
Harrison.
AKA.
Yeah, I was waiting for you.
Yeah, go for the list.
So we have two guests on the podcast, not one and then an extra. We have two guests. We have Mr. Harold Elliott, also known as Harry, but we're going to call you Harold.
Whatever works.
And Tess is back again for number 2, which I thought was number 3, but it's number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
So Tess is back. She's actually a bit relaxed today.
Yeah, because I'm not the main person. I am the buffer in this
both
situation.
the
It's the same.
We're all in this together.
Exactly.
Harriet, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Yeah, well, as you guys said, I'm Harold or Harry or Harrison, depending on if you're my mother, friend, or whoever you want to be. Answer to all. I don't know, I'm a good friend of you two. Down here for the weekend to visit family. And yeah, that's the reason I've been dragged in here, strong-armed by Tess a little, but happy to...
Absolutely shitting yourself about the next 45 minutes to an hour.
Happy to be here nonetheless.
As an elite endurance-based trail running athlete, Harry, can you inform the people what your heart rate is right now?
It's dropped.
It's dropped?
In the past couple of minutes. We're down to 92.
92, that's not bad, because we started about 103 before, so...
We're getting there.
No matter who you are and where you come from, podcasting is still moderately stressful.
Yeah.
So we'll let him off the hook.
Yeah, thank
What are
you.
you doing
I need that.
72.
72, you're cruising.
I'm cruising. I'm fine.
Trained professional. You've been in this chair before.
Yeah,
you know
I
how
know.
it is.
I've got my chai. I got my water. I'm comfy.
Chai, water, comfy. You just need a blanket.
You got the heater on this
Heaters on,
time.
blankies over there if you need it. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
How do you two know each other?
Basketball.
Ball.
Very, ball.
Ball is life.
Real young age balling.
Yeah, we were just like little...
Southern Pen?
Yep. So we did IDP together.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like... I don't even know.
Intensive training program.
Yeah.
I said IDP.
T.
Oh,
T.
I said D and I was like ID.
Yeah.
Yep.
T for Tess.
And it would have been, under 16s, I think,
Yeah, I reckon...
started. So we were 15.
Yeah, I was still at Dandenong when I started coming down. And then... So, yeah, I was under 16s and then came down and played down there in under 18s. Still did ITP. And then, yeah.
Got headhunted from what I remember from Tess.
Yeah, she did get poached.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
She got poached by my coach, who was leaving me
to come and coach me.
To go coach Tess. So,
How did that make you feel?
I really lost out of that one, but that's all right.
We're in the chairs.
It
so
is
I feel
what
like
it
it's
is.
nice to ask that question.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
How does that make you feel?
How does it make you feel?
There was a good reason to it, though, I remember. Jared, our coach at the time, was given state level coaching opportunities, but it was in the women's programs.
Yeah.
And he was pretty much told, if you want to coach women's at this level, you need to be coaching women's at all levels.
Yeah.
Which is how he sent it to us, but all of us who had been rolling with him for the past 2 years were like, you dog.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whatever.
I mean, each their own, but he kind of terrified me for a lot of my career, and so I was like...
Hang on, question, Harry. Was he actually terrifying, or is that a test thing? He
Uh,
was scared of her in shadow.
He's a very big man. I could see how he could come
He's
across.
imposing figure.
Yeah.
Big figure.
You're just never sure.
Yeah.
I get scared very easily, so it's okay. It was like a good experience. I mean, for me personally, it was good to like kind of jump down to a different club and different environment and get to be challenged by someone like Harold playing defense or offense against him. And it was a good experience from that perspective.
For reference for the Virtus people listening and Tessa's scale of scaredness, you were scared of Reece Johnson when you walked in, were you not?
It's terrible. I was scared of Darren.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Two of the most gentle, kindest, nice men that we have in here.
Yeah.
And you were terrified of both of them.
I was such a quiet soul. And then probably a couple of months into it, I was like, Mitch, why are my programs taking so much longer? And you were like, because you talk to people now. It's like an hour and a half.
It's a beautifully, it's not a word.
No.
It's beautifully put byproduct of training. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
There you go.
How did we meet, Harry?
Probably
This one
actually-
time at band camp.
Yeah, we're longer running
Yeah.
friends than Tess and I.
This one time at band camp.
Yeah.
How old would we have been? Like 9, 10?
Dude. Yeah, less than that, I reckon.
You
How
guys
old-
are actually that young?
How old are you in like grade 3? 8, 9?
Yeah, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
We go
Yeah.
way back.
Oh my god.
What
But
instrument did we play?
yeah, this is a good question.
How old do you know?
We spoke about this
Yeah,
the
we
other
did.
day.
Yeah.
Trumpet?
Yep.
Bingo.
Tick.
We've also spoken about this recently, you know.
Saxophone.
Yeah.
Hey, she does listen.
Do you remember what I played?
Clarinet?
Yep.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was saxophone.
2.
That's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't tell
Yeah.
my mum I said that.
They're both-
Who's still a music teacher.
They're both woodwind, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm still not in touch.
Not not in touch with
As my mother would probably backhand me over the head.
Aw.
She's still a music teacher. At the same school, still.
Really?
Yeah, still there.
Wait, did you have...
Still going on music camps at Bryce?
I think so, yeah, I reckon.
Nice.
I don't know if... I think COVID, maybe they paused it for a little bit. But
Yeah.
I think they're going back now.
Got to keep it going.
Yeah, we didn't go to the same school, but like it was a collaborative band camp. Yeah, for
You
like
guys were nerds and I love it.
Oh,
5
yeah.
or 6.
Still are.
I was going to say, I'm still what are you talking about? I just don't do as much work as you.
Yeah, I just
I'm a
nerd
nerd
out.
at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a collaborative, like 5 or 6 schools.
Mm.
But they're all like peninsula based, so I have no idea how our school got in. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was Pearsdale, which is like not where any.
It was a bit odd. And the rest were
Bonio,
like Rosebud, Dramana, Bonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Furbank. Is that a school?
Eastbourne, maybe?
Eastbourne. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say, Fairbank is like city.
Yeah. it is.
Yeah.
It's not what I was
That's
thinking.
like my realm.
Handbag. Handbag.
Maybe?
I don't know. I feel like
I
it's
can't
like
remember.
Muridoki way, like in the trees.
I was 10.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how we
saying I don't
met.
remember.
That's how. Is that terrifying? It's like
What's your
8 years ago.
favourite?
Mm. Yeah, well, now that you say it, it is, but it wasn't until then.
Shit.
What's your like favourite memory from band camp?
I actually vividly remember you being the guy rocking around like
okay.
full Tigers outfit,
Hey,
like-
and you say you don't have a football team.
I did when I was younger.
like die-hard Tigers
Yeah,
fan,
I-
slippers, like
Yeah,
shirts,
crazy.
everything,
Yeah, I was a
like
cute kid.
You
yeah.
had slippers?
Yeah, I had the whole thing.
yeah.
I like shoes. Like I had the whole thing set up.
That's amazing.
What's my favourite time about camp?
Die-hard.
I reckon for me, the most vivid memory was the jelly and the frog we got for
Mm.
dessert every night.
Mm.
Had to be
Dinners
there kind of moment.
all the same every year.
All the same every year.
Some roast, some chicken schnitzel,
Yeah.
same dessert every
Apple and
time.
muffin for snacks. Yeah,
Yeah.
we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Core
and it was in the
memories.
Briars, so like looking back at it now, spending time like outside in the trees, early mornings,
Mm.
like for like 3 days, living.
I had a traumatizing event happen at the Briars.
Go on then.
We were on some like wilderness
The
camp.
fact that you came out with it means that I can say go on then and not be scared of it.
Yeah. It's
Go
not
on.
forced.
Do you
Continue.
want to talk about it?
It's traumatizing, but it's
Okay,
fine.
go on then.
Yeah, we were on like some wilderness camp. And it was like May and I and some other kids, and they had like these big gates that you could go in like in and out of the wilderness area. I don't know. And there was this kid in front of me, and he was like the cool kid of the group, and he had like a walking stick and having the best time of his life. And he decided to open this gate with the walking stick. And little did he know that I was like right behind him, and he like flung the stick back, and the gate like came and crushed me and split open my eye.
That's how that happened.
Yeah. Well, like that's how that one happened. I've got another one here.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Oh,
But yeah.
Stitches?
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually only noticed it for the first time though, like the other day.
I don't think I've ever noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right here. I got
I must have been just like standing on the right angle next to her, and I was like, "Oh,
What happened there?
you want to talk about that?" Sorry?
got dropped as a baby. I was like, it's so bad though, because I was like in church. Mum was like holding me, and she must have like slipped or something, and so I've like flung around and like hit my head on the corner of like the little like booth things. I don't know what you call it, and yeah, split that, and
It
Yeah.
all makes more sense now.
yeah, I've lost a few brain cells along the way.
Yeah, right. Still got more than Harry and I put together.
No.
This
In
is
terms
true.
of book smarts, yes. Street smarts, not
Yeah,
a chance.
We got you covered with that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
What's life look like now, Harry? What do you do yourself?
I'm out in a little town called Mount Beauty. For anyone else who doesn't know, it's the base of Falls Creek, essentially. About, 5 hours from here? So a long way from where I grew up. I work out there as a carpenter these days. Which is, weirdly enough, I'm 27. It's my first ever full-time job. First ever time I've probably held the same job for a year, which is a different structure to my life than I've ever had. But it's good. I love it out there. There's heaps of spare time to do what I want. There's mountain bike parks around. There's rivers. There's mountains. Just all good things and good people. Small community. It keeps you intrigued, keeps you interested, keeps you humble as well, I reckon. You got to work together, hang out there. It's rough sometimes, so it's good.
Around the fire at night.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's cold. It's cold at the moment. May's always hard, but it's good.
I love the cold. What made you move in the first place?
I always loved snow sports. I was very lucky growing up that Mum used to take us every year, another school trip, luckily enough. Rosebud Primary and Rosebud Secondary have great opportunities, good schools, lots of things to do. But yeah, Mum used to take us on this school trip every year. So me and my brother, got to love it and do all those kind of things. So as soon as I hit a bit of freedom in my life, it was just something I chased to try to spend all my extra dollars going to the snow and traveling overseas to see more snow and everything like that. So naturally ended up in that part of Victoria. And I think there was one summer where I was like, I always bounce around out of this place every summer, sometimes chasing snow, sometimes going to the coast or whatever. I was like, I should just stay. Like, it's pretty nice out here. It's pretty awesome. And I did, and that was probably 4 years ago now. It's kind of pre-COVID.
Yeah,
and then stayed out there all through COVID, and haven't looked back. Probably won't look anywhere else anytime soon. We'll see. But it's good.
I don't believe it.
He's a mountain man through and
for
through.
longer than a year. I don't know.
Yeah, we're working on that though. It feels stable.
How do you feel about being stable and set up now for someone who's, I wouldn't say necessarily didn't like it, but wasn't used to it?
I don't know if it was that I didn't like it. It's just my job at the time and my lifestyle kind of forced me to be around all over the place a lot more. I was working as an outdoor educator, so that's what I went to uni to do. Thought I was going to be a teacher and whatnot. So I was working in outdoor ed programs, and not a lot where you can stay in a single space unless you want to work for a big school in Melbourne, and Melbourne's really not me. So that's kind of the reason I was moving around, and I did make the decision to be stable and be in one place, and that's why I picked up the carpentry job and everything like that. It has been a bit of a change to get used to, but knowing that I picked to do that, it's been pretty good. I think I'm okay with it now. I don't have this urge to go and jump the coop anytime soon. It is good. But who knows? I might finish the apprenticeship and it might be like, oh, there's a bit of freedom there. What could happen next, kind of thing.
What would you want to do?
I don't know. I haven't really thought too much past Mount Beauty. There's a few other places in Australia I'd like to, check out before I, fully settle and decide that's where I want to be. Tassie's always been interesting. I did a bit of work down there, which was nice. Good place to be, but pretty darn cold without the snow that I'd prefer. The other one that interests me is out west. Yep. Really want to see West Oz. Obviously, a bit of a sea change from where I am now, but oh man,
cold to
it just looks like
hot.
It just looks so awesome out there, and so different to what we have on the east coast as well. And the fact that it's I say it's just there, and it's 4,000 k's away, or something ridiculous.
You can just run across the country.
It's true. It's doable.
It
apparently.
is doable.
Some people do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the only other place that maybe lure me. My boss, when he finished his apprenticeship, he went over there and worked there for a fair bit, and he just raves about it. He was kind of based in Fremantle kind of area and did a bit of FIFO work and travelled around, and he's well into go do it. It'll be awesome kind of thing. So we'll see, maybe.
Sick. Where should he go, Tess? What would you like to see Harry do?
I don't know. I'd love to see you survive in warmth.
Yeah, I'd melt, I reckon.
That sunscreen is going to be empty.
It was coming.
Yeah.
She just couldn't help herself.
Yeah, you're 2 against 1 on this one,
You're not
Tess.
going to win.
We can't all have nice olive skin.
Mate, I just get freckles.
Yeah.
I wish I got freckles. Just go red, white, red, white.
I mean, my freckles will join up one day and I might.
I honestly think that's what's going to happen to my face at some stage. I'm just going to be freckle.
I love that. What's athlete Harry look like now? So little basketball Harry. How's that evolved and what's it like now?
I think, personally...
Why they're giggling is we talk about little Harry. That's a little inside one, that one.
I don't know. I feel uncomfortable referring to myself as an athlete.
That's why I said it.
Thank you.
You're an athlete.
Yeah, thank you.
You were like going to though. You were a lot closer to going overseas than what I was.
For basketball?
Yeah.
Yes, you were. Even I know that.
Yeah.
I guess so.
You had hops.
We were in the same programs and like we were doing the same things, and neither of us pursued that college path kind of thing when we had the opportunity. So I wouldn't say we were, any different in the path we chose.
Did it cross your mind?
It did. I thought about it. It only really popped into my head with our coach, Jared Elliott, we were talking about. He kind of got in my ear about it, and it wasn't like you could go do this. He was like, hey, look at like what these kids have done that are a couple of years ahead of you. Like, they've done this, they've done that, and now they're going to go do that. And then kind of got in my ear about, he went over to America at the time, and I think he was at Western Virginia University. I met with a couple of their players, and he came back with heaps of stuff, being like, this is what they do every day, this is their routine, and yada, yada, yada. And I took a lot of that on board, and I started doing those things. And it was good. It was great to see what you had to do to go to that next level. But yeah, it did cross my mind, but it never got to a serious point where we're like, all right, like let's start ticking boxes. Let's start talking to the right people and see how we go.
Yeah. I got asked to put together like a portfolio kind of thing. This was while I was at
Test Taj.
Little scrapbook.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like little test. I got asked to put together like a portfolio to send over, and I don't know. I think I was in like year 9 or 10 at that stage, and I was just like, I just want to be a kid. Like I love basketball and I love what I'm currently doing. I was in a really good place with it at that time that I didn't want it to become like a stress thing. It was my kind of escape. So I was just like, nah, we're going to keep it fun.
Yeah.
Just see what happens.
Did you do an American tour in the end?
No.
Yeah.
You did, didn't you?
I did. I think that was the point. I was
so jealous of that.
Yeah, I think that was the point where my mindset switched to you though, where I was like, I've just got to enjoy this.
Yeah.
I think that was the point where I was like, nah, it's not going to push any further than this. It was awesome. It was such a good experience to see what was going on over there. But
you were a full-blown stadium kid though, right?
What was that, sorry?
You were a full-blown stadium kid. You're there all the time, every day, ball in your hand.
Yeah, I didn't really do, and it's weird to think now, I probably haven't touched a ball in like 5 years. And like I haven't played in 10 probably. That's probably an exaggeration, maybe like 8. But yeah, every morning, every arvo, we do ITP at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
it was at my school, so I'd shower there.
Yeah, you had it easy.
Probably have like a half-hour shoot around afterwards, shower, go to class, and then probably have a team training session that afternoon as well. Yeah, it was like, I don't know, you're doing 14 training sessions a week at that point.
Easily.
Don't really think about anything else.
Sensing a bit of jealousy over here though. Kind of easy.
Yeah, well, like you got to, yeah. I don't know.
I was lucky in the system I was in, for sure.
Yeah, you had really, like I was jealous of the like men's system that you guys had down there. Like it was so good. I kind of got to experience that when like I went back to Dandenong for under 20s, and that was like, I would rock up early in the morning, like do a session, go to school, and then come back in the arvo, have our team session, and it was just like a really good vibe happening there. Yeah,
and there wasn't as many females in ITP as males, hey?
Nah, we were definitely a smaller group.
It was maybe like you, May, Eliza, maybe Ella?
Yeah, Ella, Jess.
Yeah, Jess too.
Love?
Huh?
Just Love?
Nah, different Jess. Different Jess.
Nah,
just connecting worlds.
No. Yeah, there was a small group, and then I think that was why it was actually kind of good that G was then focused in that developing the women's program, because there was so much talent that was coming through Southern Penn, and he was able to bring girls in. So I think the season that I left, it kind of, that women's program grew quite a lot.
It made sense. You guys were playing like VC, and when I was top age, our team was maybe cracking like Met 2. So we were still like a little bit off the pace.
Yeah.
So it made way more sense to put time and energy there. Like by the time we hit 18s, there was no way we were making that step.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No.
wasn't what it was.
It was an interesting time.
Anyone in those programs still doing basketball things
Yeah,
that you can think of?
I think there's a few of the boys I played with that still bounce around big V leagues at the moment. And still play a bit, but there just seems to be a big burnout rate with basketball.
100%.
It's because it's inside sport.
Yeah.
It's not determined by what happens outside. You can do it anytime, all the time. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you're training 14 times a week as a 16-year-old, it's probably not sustainable at that point.
I think
what
there's...
would you do differently? Sorry, were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say from women's side, I think Alla's still playing. And then I think Eliza's still playing at like Knox or something, but then she's also in AFLW for Melbourne.
Yeah.
So like cross code. She's a legend.
Last name?
West?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a good bowler.
Yeah.
Still is.
She
Yeah.
went overseas and
Yeah.
did the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so there was definitely a couple of girls that got through, but yeah, huge burnout rates, I think.
What would you do differently? Reflecting now on, especially for you, who's working in the industry of sport as a whole, and you know more now.
Yeah.
What would you do differently about those programs?
In terms of as an athlete, how I would approach it, or as a coach?
No, what would you do for the athletes to reduce the rate of burnout?
Oh, okay. I think probably not specialise as early, like allow kids to enjoy it. And then like not getting fancy too quick, like nail the fundamentals and let them enjoy being good at the fundamentals and then like bring them across. That's like what I would probably say, because I kind of, from my experience at Dandenong, I was pretty settled in what I was doing and I was confident in what I was doing. And then I kind of came down to Southern Penn and it was a different coaching system that I hadn't worked in before. And so me being like a good foundational player, then like pushed to be a fancy foundational player, kind of like threw me quite a lot. And then like I lost all my confidence and then kind of went down. So I don't know, let kids enjoy sport, let them develop, enjoy the game, and then let them make that decision to take the next step.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree for the most part of that. Like, I remember most of my coaches having slight hostility towards the boys who were juggling footy and basketball, which in hindsight I reckon sucks. Like, I reckon if I was still playing footy and basketball at the same time, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot later than burning out at 19 kind of thing. Yeah. If there was more scope for that, to allow training sessions to be missed and everything, even at the level we were at, like if you miss a session because you're playing footy, like
you're like benched.
Yeah, and like what's the point of that? Like yeah. So
it's even from like swimming days, like you're forced to specialize or we were like forced to focus so much on swimming so early that you would have like kids that were seriously really, really talented dropping out at like 13, 14 because they were just A, like hated the sport because of all the pressure around it, or B, like physically burnt out. So yeah, that would probably be my insight on that.
Do you think specialisation at any level is important?
Yeah, I think so. When it gets to that like stage where it's like, okay, I'm 18 years old or I'm 20 years old. Hey, I still really love this sport. I would like to see if I can take that next step. Absolutely.
How do you think you identify that with someone? So if parents are listening, for example, and I'm not, obviously I don't have any children, but like as a parent, like they care so much about their children. My parents are exactly the same and never pushed me to do anything. Like how do you think you identify that as like a parent without being a parent, if that makes sense? So like as an athlete who's gone through it, like and had pretty supportive parents, like for those that are kind of bringing up younger athletes now, like what does that look like, and how do you know when to specialize and when not to? Because it's hard, because it's like it has
really
to come
hard
from within, but you can't develop kids' mindsets around that until it's like one of those things you don't know until you know.
Yeah, or for me personally, it would be like listening. I think that's like a huge part, because I know that there were times when I was at swimming and I was like, there was like physical things that I would show in terms of like I wouldn't want to get up in the morning, I wouldn't want to go, and it won't be like something I'd verbally say, but it's a pretty strong indicator that I'm pretty sick of what I'm doing. Yeah. And then like, yeah, I think my parents understood where I was at with basketball because they knew that I loved the sport because I spoke about it, and I would like engage in basketball related things. Like I would want to go and watch a basketball game, or like I would want to go out and train, or like it wasn't my parents having to say, oh, we got to go to training now. It was like, hey, mum, dad, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
I know it's like listening in a different way, not so much from what the kid's actually saying, but the actions that they're bringing to the floor.
Sick.
Yeah, I guess if you leave it like all on the child athlete, is probably the best way to look at it. Like if I said to dad like, oh, I don't want to go to a Chuki next week for state basketball camp, he would have been like, awesome. Like I don't want to do the drive either.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So yeah, as long as you got, I don't know, supportive parents around you like that who aren't pushing you in that direction, it's probably the best way to find it. But I also don't know how you rein back parents that are a bit pushier on that.
Yeah, it's like finding that nice little balance.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you always, and that's probably how we ended up in those positions as well, is because we had those coaches tapping our parents on the shoulder, being like,
yeah,
they could be good at this.
Yeah.
Like you should probably
plant that seed a little bit more.
Yeah, so then it falls onto the coach as well, and yeah. But as long as you're listening to the child, it's the best way to go about it. Yeah. But then it's also like you're 15. Do you really know what you want to do? Like, there's so many aspects to it.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's definitely tricky. Like, my mum would probably have exactly like a different response as well.
I can't wait to get her on this podcast.
Kaz is going to be manic.
I am so excited for that day.
Yeah.
And you are terrified. The best.
I don't know what she's going to come out with, but yeah, that'll be good.
That'll be good.
Yeah. Stress.
What did you fill the void with? I know about you because we spoke about it in our podcast, but Harry, what did you fill the void with when you stopped basketballing?
I don't think I had too much of a void to fill by the time I'd give it up. Like I finished high school, I took a gap year from everything, and I went into the senior program for a year. And I think that point in my life where I was no longer at school, I had my license, I had freedom to do whatever I wanted, was a point where I was like, I don't really need to be busting my ass 6 times a week to do this sport. I can just play once a week with my friends and I'll enjoy it just as much and go from there. I'd kind of lost that competitive and spirit and love for it. So I don't know if I had a void to fill.
What do you fill the time up with? What did you pick up that you didn't really have the chance to, or didn't do as much as you wanted to, but then playing organised sport kind of allowed you to do that? Yeah,
it allowed me to actually, I'd signed up at this point to go study outdoor education at Bendigo La Trobe. And I think that was the point where I was like, awesome, I can actually spend my weekends outdoors doing the things I love. Like went to uni and started learning all these skills about like rock climbing and paddling, and that led to trail running and mountain biking and everything like that. So I think that was the point where I was like, I don't need to give up my whole Sat day to drive to Blackburn and be there an hour before the game, do the warm-up, play the game, go to the game function afterwards, and then drive back. And yeah, I think that was... how I filled my time was like, there's heaps of new things to learn. Yeah, I've played basketball for as long as I could know, and people are telling you you're constantly good at it, you got to keep going. But yeah, there was more things to learn that wasn't just basketball.
Yeah. What was the one thing that kind of like drew you in? You're like, I love this shit.
As in outdoor activities, kinds.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's something I don't do much at all anymore. It was probably rock climbing. Rock climbing was really a point where I exposed myself to something that I was A, pretty terrified of, but B, knew that I had skills to keep myself safe and comfortable, and it was like finding that fine balance. I think that really drew me into more outdoor activities, because you can put yourself in some pretty uncomfortable situations. But the more I did it, we're here, right? We're getting there.
Do you want me to draw that diagram?
Georgia?
I think that was the first one that drew me into being like, if you're uncomfortable doing something, you're probably going to grow and get better at it, and that's the only way I've really found from here on to get better at things is just pick them up when you shit at them, if I'm honest. So.
Did you have to get out of your own way to do that, or you just like threw yourself in?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I think I was always pretty terrified of being poor at things, just generally based on what other people would think. But I love sucking at things now. It's like an opportunity to get better at something. And it can be counterintuitive as well, because I do get half good at a lot of things and then move on to the next thing.
It's like, yeah. Go on.
So I'd never say I'm too competent at anything, kind of thing.
So running up and down hills.
Yeah. To a certain degree.
This hill isn't a hill.
But yeah, I love that feeling of being terrible, being slightly uncomfortable, but knowing that like, oh, it's awesome. I'm going to learn heaps. I'm going to get better, and I'll get to a point where I'll be like, yeah, I can call myself this now.
Yeah.
So
how do you go about? Oh, she's about to take a drink. I won't ask her. No,
Yes.
you have the sip. Trust me. We're going to enjoy
I'm
this.
good. I was just go.
Just hydrating.
Yeah.
I was going to say, as someone who's not so comfortable being uncomfortable, how do you go about doing that?
Oh, I'm like, well, as I kind of mentioned in the podcast before, like that's something that I'm continually trying to get better at, is being comfortable putting myself in uncomfortable positions, because I know how much I learn in that space. I'd probably say the thing that like holds me back in that space is that I am that perfectionist, that I can't be like, oh, I can half tick that.
Dynamic between
It's like, no, I have to like get it right. So it's like, once again, it's trying to find that balance between like, now I'm starting to put myself in those uncomfortable positions a lot more and be okay with like not knowing the answer or like not doing it great or whatever. But then it's, that perfectionist trait of dialing it down a little bit and being able to be like, hey, I gave it a crack and it was all right.
Character building 2 ways.
Yeah.
Throw yourself in and work it out. Throw yourself in and reflect.
Pretty much.
That's probably something I need to do more, is reflection. I get through these processes and I'm like, awesome, I did that, next thing. And I don't really give myself that time to look back and be like, oh, that's how it happened, that's how it occurred.
Do we make him do it now?
Yeah, do
reflect. Give me 2 things you started and then didn't continue.
Whitewater paddling at uni was something I definitely started and did not really get to the competent level I wanted to. I think that was like, and I do this heaps, I just have too many hobbies, and it gets to the point where I'm spending dollars everywhere on all this nice new shiny equipment, and then I don't have enough for that and that and whatever. But yeah, paddling I would have loved to have gotten better at, but I'm lucky enough, thanks to being around all these like-minded people at uni, I do have lots of good friends now across the state who are very good at it. So there will be a time where I jump back in a boat and try my hand of scaring myself on a few rivers again. I don't know, what else did I half-ass it at? Oh, road cycling. I tried road cycling.
I remember
once,
this phase actually.
I didn't
you got
even
lycra.
Yeah, I still have it.
You went full mammal.
Oh, I've been talking about selling this bike for like a year now. And everyone keeps ripping into me because it's in the shed. Yeah. I didn't even go full commitment. I got a gravel bike with like a very low terrain tread on the tyre kind of thing, and did a bit of road cycling and whatnot. And I saw the worth and I enjoyed it to a certain extent, but I just never fully committed to it. It was always just like, I can get dressed, I can get the bike out, pump up my tyres, oil my chain, go for a ride, or I just throw on my shoes and I just go running. And like, I already know all the nice places I want to go run. When I was pedaling, I was like, this hill seems pretty hard. So I definitely half-assed that. I need to sell the bike and move on from that. I don't think that's me.
Will it come back, you reckon? Will you turn full mammal?
Maybe if the legs die at some point.
Touch wood.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't think we want that to happen.
We got a marathon to run at the end of the year.
Yeah, you do.
It's true. We do have to get to that soon.
We're leading up to the running part.
Yeah, I don't know. If for whatever reason I was unable to run, I think I'd jump on there and fill that void. Yeah. But until then, I don't think I need it.
What's something you tried and you're so glad that you're not going to go back and do that again? As a very positive being, do you have one of those things?
I don't know. There's lots of things that scare me. I don't know if I've ever done something and been like, terrible, never again, gross. Nothing springs to mind.
What about you?
Whiskey.
Oh, we are not talking about that.
Yeah. I don't think there's any other life
What's going
experiences.
on my mind when I asked that question? I just seen it coming.
Obviously been on Tess's mind.
It's like right there.
I
I'm
think
not
it's been
doing
on
it
Tess's
again.
Everything just well.
It was one of the most. That was a traumatic experience.
I'd say we get back there, but we'll go back to there, and you're not going anywhere near my cocktail.
Yeah, I'm not going. I'm not. Nah,
No,
it's not happening.
that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Another time.
Activity based.
Activity based thing that I'd never do again.
Yeah. Or you just go like, that's not for me.
I don't think I could jump out of a plane.
I've only done it once, but
But like I could go swimming with sharks.
Like in a cage or just open water?
Open water.
Yeah, right.
I think that terrifies me more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really?
Being underwater just scares the shit out of me, I think.
See, I love like being in the water.
Oh, I love
I've
being in
always
the water.
been
I can
like
touch
water
the ground.
baby.
Yeah, I can touch the ground. I'm good. So not that deep.
Shallow end of the pool.
Oh, where's Mitch?
Okay, pool's a bit different, but like open water, like that, like the whole mystery of like underwater, like just scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, ocean's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy,
No,
and it's
yeah,
just
I
we
love
have absolutely no idea about at least 6% of the ocean, so it also terrifies me.
No, it definitely comes from my dad. Like, dad was a marine biologist. So, like, he's got, like, all these really cool stories about swimming with sharks and feeding sharks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I kind of want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of my... It would be going in an uncomfortable situation, but, like, learning a lot and growing from it. So that's probably on my bucket list.
Nice.
Yeah.
How'd you pick out running, Harry?
That's a good question. I feel like
we can all do it, but we don't.
Yeah,
know where we
everyone's-
started.
Left foot, right foot.
yeah, everyone's a runner.
His left foot, right foot, left foot. Don't fall over.
I can kind of remember the point where I started running pretty regularly, and it was for a Movember. Me and a few mates put together a team and started raising some money. I think our goal was like 100 Ks each for the month kind of thing. So I remember that like month vividly of running like every day, and I remember like trying to get out for that 5K every day, and it became routine. The reason I did get into it at the time is I had a pretty poor stint of mental health when I was younger, especially around those uni days when you're like early 20s. You don't know what you're doing with your life, and you know little problems pop up and they blow up into big things. And it was a bit of a push from my mum as well, being like, oh, I've seen you go for runs every now and then, and you seem to do that to clear your head, and it seems to be good for you. Like, it might be something you push. And that just seemed to time nicely with November, and all my mates started doing this Movember thing, and it just, kind of just grew from there. I think when I ran that 100 Ks in the month, I was like, oh, like this is a pretty easy thing to run regularly once you set yourself the routine, and then it just grew and grew and grew from there.
I'm going to ask you a very broad, wide question. How do you
Great.
go from running 100K in a month to 100K in a day?
It's a good question. I actually don't even know if I know the answer. It's going to be very different for everyone.
Would you like to provide the people with some context on the 100K a day?
I recently ran in an event called the Buffalo Stampede, which is out my way in northeast Victoria, and starts and finishes at the Bright Brewery. All good runs should probably start and finish at a pub or a brewery. It's a
amen,
great
sister.
place for it. But yeah, that was, what are we now, May? It was 2 months ago, April 1st. And yeah, it was 105 Ks and 5 and a bit thousand vertical meters across the day. So
Yeah, the guy hates hills.
Yeah, we get it.
yeah, so
Mid flex.
wasn't a super flat day out. But yeah, it is a very good contrast from my first introduction to running, being able to try squeeze in 100 Ks in a month, and then all of a sudden have to do it in a single day. So yeah, I've never really thought about it that way. So
Yeah, that's what you're talking
Reflection.
about. That's the first
Yeah,
thing.
there you
Like,
go.
when you said 100K in a month, I was like, how the hell do you get from that to a day?
yeah, it's a weird, and it was something I thought about doing for a long time. I've just been very scared to sign up for events, which is weird, because the thing that's always interested me about it is like, oh, I don't know if it's possible. Like, I don't know if I could do it. But at the same time, you go to sign up for it and you're like, oh, I don't want to find out.
And then you hit the like sign up button, you're like, oh shit, now I got to do training for it.
Yeah, now I've actually got to do it.
Well, to get past that hump, and it's weird because I should have had like intrinsic motivation to do it, but I got my mum to buy me an entry into Stampede for my Christmas present. So I kind of got to sideswipe the bit of putting in my own details and everything, which is like, Mum, I want to do this, and she's like, awesome, I'll get you on it. So
is your mum a runner?
Nah, not at all. No. Oh, she started ever since I started running, and I showed her what Strava was, which we all love. She's really started getting into her walks, and like she loves like sending me a screenshot of like her like 10K walk on her like underarm up and stuff.
That.
So
I have to bring her down on Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's loved getting out and about, and like Dad's not a runner either, so I don't know where it came from.
What do you love about it? What keeps you doing it?
Mental health. Like it was the general reason I started, and the reason I do continue even like post Stampede. I really tried to dial it back and just go back to doing enjoyable runs instead of trying to do 70k weeks like Tess over here. It's all about mental health for me. I just find it's such a positive way when you've got like a mess going on in your head. You just go out, and as soon as you start running one foot in front of the other, it just makes it, to me, much easier to like file those thoughts. Like the way I picture it is like I've got a filing cabinet in my head, and there's like papers and documents everywhere, and as soon as you start running, it just seems to like all fall into the little pockets as it is. I don't know if it's to do with like the fatigue it puts on your body, where you stop overthinking and you just think more literally about things that are going on in your life. But yeah, it's the main reason I keep doing it. I've always found it pretty easy to stay on top of my physical health. Just I guess from training basketball so much as a kid, like those kind of activities seem fun to me, but I've always struggled with my mental health and like organising all that. So I know if I get to a point in my week where like it's all over the shop, I'll just go for a run, like 10k, 5k, 20, 50k, whatever it is, however long it takes. Just get out there until you've filed it all, you've thought all about it, and then you usually enjoy the last couple k's home, listen to a song or two, whatever works. But yeah, finish with a beer at the end. It's beautiful. But yeah, all about mental health for me.
I can relate to that too. It was like when I was like a middle distance runner. I wouldn't say I was a long distance runner, but middle distance runner. I'd like get home from school, and like let's say I'm in a shitty mood, Mum would literally force me to go for a run. Yeah. Like, you're being a little shithead, go for a run. Yeah. And I'd go out for like a 10k run, and I'd do that like Monday to Friday. Yeah. And you come back and you're just a better human. You
just feel better.
More clarity. Yeah. You feel less tense. Everything to do with that.
Yeah, and like there's the obvious science behind it, like you're releasing endorphins and all that kind of stuff that helps with that positivity. But yeah, it just seems like such a good way to just put it all in perspective, figure it all out, move on. Yeah.
So I'm needing to tap into more of that now, because like now it's become like I've got to go and do this run. I've got to go and do this. That's like, hang on, I need to like.
You got some freedom this week though. How'd you go with the freedom this week? Actually, a little sidebar on this note. From someone who had to do like X session, X day, this is the Ks. This week, what did I give you?
Like 2 10Ks and 2 8s.
You're in charge. Do what you want.
Yeah. It was nice. Yeah. It was nice to just like rock up and do whatever I wanted. And if it was a slow run, then it was a slow run. If it was like,
I wanted a heart rate.
Oh, I was so quick this morning.
Yeah, I was like, I just got to do like 150, 155 heart rate. I think it did not sit in that at all.
You had free reign.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, having that like freedom to kind of do whatever I wanted and have a mental break from, oh God, I got to run 21 Ks if you're running with Ollie. Yeah, with Ollie. But yeah, I need to tap into it being like my happy space again. Yep.
We get there. Those 70k weeks will get there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll have heaps of time for
I'll
happy.
have to bring him down for the Virtus one.
Yeah, you'll have to come down.
I'll have to. It's a big drive.
Like September.
I'll forget about this drive by then.
We'll meet you in St Kilda, don't worry.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, if you come all the way down.
I know, but he doesn't like headwinds. He's used to running in the valley.
That was a big discussion this morning. Coastal places and wind.
Context for this.
Oh yeah, we were like running along the Esplanade, and you know where it like opens up just as you're coming into Fishies. I was like, "What is this headwind?" Yeah. And he was like, "You don't get this in the valley.
You don't. It's never windy there.
No trees, no wind in the trees."
Yeah, if you're going up above, you're expecting it to be windy and you're prepared for it, but down there, never windy. I feel like every time I come run here, or we were talking about over in Geelong, I go to run with friends down there whenever I'm visiting, and they're always like, yeah, sweet, Barwon River run, like, it'll be awesome. As soon as you, like, turn out onto that straight where everyone rows, it's headwind both ways.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter what you do. Like, I hate it. Yeah, wind kills me.
It's all about the conditions.
Yeah.
He's right. Running in the wind, especially obviously indoor headwind, takes it out of you. But like just running in the wind, full stop, just like messes up your rhythm. Like you start thinking about it.
It's when you get blown into a bush, that's when you know it's bad.
Yeah, newsflash, I don't have that issue.
I had that
Me
issue.
neither.
A little shorter
I was
and
like,
wider than you
I
are.
really hope no car saw that.
Strong breeze doesn't blow me over anymore, unfortunately. I'm a little more anchored to the ground.
Yeah, you're wombat.
Yeah, wombat life.
Yeah.
Harry, what's your training and running and look like now?
Super dialed back, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It was kind of the plan that, like, I knew I had this big event coming up, tick that box, and then April would be rest, dial it back, not do a lot.
Did you go for like a 20k week, run like a week and a half after?
Uh,
Didn't we see that when we were together one day? After we finished his event, and then we looked on Strava, I was like, oh, Harry's going for a 10K
No, weren't
run.
you were like injured post?
I was a bit sore. I had a few little niggles. I had a bit of a foot problem, but I did go for a 20. Well, my mindset after it.
He's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
it was just a cheeky 20k.
Yes. But like back to Tess before, how she's like, oh, I got to fit in this 12. I got to fit in that 10. I no longer had that mindset. So I was only trying to go for runs when it was enjoyable. Like if I was at home, I was like, oh, I should probably go for a run. And 20 minutes later, I still couldn't drag myself out of the house. I was like, all right, I'm not going. Like, I don't need this right now. So I can't remember what was going on that day. Anyway, it felt like a good idea. Got out, did it. Whatnot. But yeah, I was a bit injured, a bit hurt. So I had to dial it back for those reasons as well. But yeah, at the moment, it's just, I'm cruising. I've lost a fair chunk of where I was at, which I'm very happy with. I'm happy to not feel high intensity all the time about it all. And yeah, I only have Melbourne Marathon now to think about. So I won't start ramping up for that for a few months yet. It's pretty hard running out at Mount Beauty at the moment, like working
thermals
most of the daylight hours, trying to get out as the sun goes down and you can't feel your fingers. And
no sunlight in the trees.
Yeah.
That too.
But there's no breeze.
Yeah, there's no wind, so that helps. But yeah, I tend to not run too much over winters anyway. Like I spend my weekends up the mountain snowboarding and skiing anyway, so it's not too much time for it. So it's pretty low down at the moment, which is fun.
Run Melbourne, sneaky chance.
I tried to convince him this morning.
When was it? July?
Yeah, mid-July.
Nah, I'm not leaving Mount Beauty in July. There's snow on the ground. I
It's
gotta be
for
home.
like one day.
Not doing it.
You can be my pacer.
How far is it?
21.
Maybe we'll see. Nah, I'm not leaving the valley. Nah, it's July. There's snow on the ground.
You're on record.
We'll see.
See you in July.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Good crew.
We'll see. Yeah,
We'll
well,
get you a cap.
that's always the catch. There's always good people.
They got running caps coming. I'm working on some like, branding stuff. Like, it's a thing.
Come on, Harold.
We got a good crew here.
I'm not going to say yes.
Cut out the last 3.5 minutes.
He said yes.
We'll see. We'll leave it in the plausible category.
We got a good little crew here now running wise. So
Yeah, I've heard in Sunday runs and everything as well. So.
Yeah.
Is that you're doing now that you've gotten back into running? Or?
yeah, it was like a long time thing that I wanted to do.
Yep.
And then like I just couldn't. I didn't have the time or energy or availability of a coach to cover me here.
Yep.
To act on it, and then we just pulled the trigger, and it's been a thing since.
Cool.
Haven't had to run in the rain yet, which might not be the same. I know this is not going to come out for 3 weeks, but I'm pretty sure it's going to piss down on Sunday. So
Yeah.
we got me running in the rain.
Nice.
But yeah,
It's character building.
Yeah,
it's
chuck,
character building.
chuck a jacket on.
Character building. But
Skin's waterproof.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Lululemon jacket over the top.
Oh, there you go.
Waterproof
Nice
on
plug.
top.
Yeah. You got her.
What's your big news?
No, not yet. It's going to come out in like 4 weeks anyway, so they're
Okay.
going to hear about it before that. But
Cool.
I got news.
Nice.
Well, if you listen to this, you've already heard my news. It's very exciting.
Nice.
It is exciting.
It's exciting. But anyway, we'll have to get down and we've just kind of let it grow and foster like naturally for now. We did a big Mother's Day run club, obviously a few weeks ago now. Got some other little events and ideas that honestly I just need to sit my butt down and just like write out what I want to do and we'll go from there.
And your mum's getting down to Sunday runs, isn't
Yeah.
she?
Every week.
Loving it.
Nice.
And she's doing great.
Yeah, she's doing well. She's training for the 5K for Run Melbourne.
Yep.
Cool.
That's like her goal. I'm kind of tempted to dangle running a 10K at Melbourne Marathon.
Honestly, I nearly think she'll I think she'll be fine for it. It's just the hurdle she'll get over first.
Yeah. But no, she's loving it. It's like her own little, as like we've already kind of said, it's her own little time to just do what she needs to do.
Yeah, she loves it, and all the people who come love her coming down too.
She has so much energy.
Yeah, she's the best,
Yeah.
and she's someone who naturally fosters energy towards her anyway
Yeah.
by giving it to other people. So
Yeah.
creates a good little environment. So
Yeah. She's a good lady.
she's a great lady.
Mm.
Talk to me about the event. Talk to me about the day. Or actually, let's go further back. Talk to me about leading up to the event. What made you want to do it, or ask your mum for the gift of, hey, mum, sign me up for this?
It was always something I'd thought of doing, but it had only really grown into the realm of possible probably in the past year or so. I was like, I could probably have a good crack at it. And I when I started running, I remember watching YouTube videos of specifically Courtney DeWalter, who I don't know if either of you know who she is, but she's like a badass American trail running woman. Just wears baggy shorts on the trail, doesn't care about anything, and just
Harry's found his love.
Oh, she's
Found the mountain woman.
Yeah, she's
heart rate 145.
she's awesome to watch. Are you up?
I was 67.
Oh, you're chilling.
Asleep over there.
Yeah, I'll just...
I'd ask you what yours were, but after talking about this woman, I think you might be a bit...
Might be up there. It's compromised data at that point. I remember specifically watching videos of her, and she just runs for days. Has done 250k runs and set all these fastest no times on these areas, and it was just so simple to her. She was like, all right, just gotta keep on keeping on. All my family and friends are out here helping me get to eat good food. I'm in nature, having all this fun. I was like, well, if you put it into perspective that way, you're not out running 100, 200, 300, however far you're running. You're actually just enjoying your time out where you are with the people you're with. So that was kind of the attitude behind it. And I ran a 50 it would have been 2020. Nah, maybe 2021. And that was awesome, but I was done by lunch. So
I need more.
yeah, so I was kind of
flex.
Damn, you
just
catch me on that every time.
Yeah, it's just about lunch.
Anyway.
I just needed some more.
Everyone else was done by lunch. Anyway, I did that, but there was something in me. I was like, I want to see what a whole day would kind of feel like. And yeah, once again, curious if it was possible, if I could manage myself throughout that whole day. So the kind of love for it was watching Courtney and what she did, and then watching other trail runners and what they did, and it kind of spurred the idea. And then I almost signed up for one in November last year, which was a 50 miler, and it was 83 Ks or something like that. But things weren't lining up, and I had other stuff on, so I didn't. And then, around Christmas time when I was like, I should do Stampede, it's in my home area, I know most of the trail, if I'm going to give it a crack, that's the one. And then, signed up, and then Christmas was it. I was like, all right, I got 4 months or 3.5 months, let's knuckle down and make sure that on the day, nothing's up to chance. I'm ready and happy to do it, so.
And you're worried about a year and a half to train for a marathon.
I'm terrified.
That's the only thing that she was thinking about them.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have signed up if I didn't have a good base by Christmas, but I was in a pretty good space at that point. I've been running. I say I started in Christmas, but Christmas was when I wrote my program and moved from there. But there was a lot of work to get to the point where I was like, all right, I can sign up. I think this is doable, kind of thing. And then, it's probably that 3-month, 12-week kind of block leading up, which was really good. Got some real fun runs in. Me and one of my good friends, Yar Reeves, we ran. I'd never been to the Mitta pub. This is what I'm saying. Running in pubs, great. Put them together.
Just line it up.
Yeah. She's like, I want to run to Mitta. I was like, I've never been to the pub. So we just picked a Saturday and got up at the crack of dawn and ran one valley over to the pub at Mitta, and that was an awesome day out. We were dropping down into the other side, and like you run through the national parks, beautiful, everything, and then you hit farms. And the farmer drove past in her car, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "Oh, we've just come from Mount Beauty." And she's like, "Why?" As soon as we said, we're like, "Oh, we're going to the pub. We've never been." She's like, "Awesome. Like, the pub's great. Enjoy," kind of thing. So yeah, started doing a couple little runs like that. And like, I'm very blessed that where I live is like so many opportunities. I don't have to drive anywhere to go run. I could just leave from my house, and I've got Mount Bogong, which is the tallest mountain in Victoria, and like all these beautiful areas around to go. So I'm very lucky that I could fit all those training runs in easily and nicely. And yeah, I had a bit of we were talking about big weeks. We did a 50k week, 60k week, and then the 50k run to the pub was in my 70k week. I pulled up real sore in my right foot from that a couple days later at work. I was just struggling to get around. So ended up at the physio for that. And there was a lot of stress on Tim, my physio's face, when I walked in. He was naysaying a lot of things and this, that and the other, but I love Tim because if you tell Tim you don't want to hear something, he'll find another solution. And we kind of moved on from there, and it was just a bit of a bone bruise, but I lost... Like my program was like 50, 60, 70, 70, 75, and then kind of dialed back from there to there. But I lost that 70 in the 75 week, which is when it was lucky I had a road bike because got out and bashed on that a bit. Once again, in a beautiful place to do that, but haven't touched that bike since. Let's not talk about it. But yeah, it was, a lot of build up over those weeks, foot niggle, bit of anxiety around that because, I don't know, like, we all want to be prepared for things. And that's like why we put in the time, the effort, and we work towards it. So that added a bit of anxiety towards it. But I don't know, like 2 weeks out, like you're deloading heaps, you're having a big taper, you're kind of just like, well, like this is it. Like I've done it all, done everything I could. Like just got to rock up on the day and give it my best crack. So...
How's that make you feel?
Like if I can do a 70k week for a 50k.
Yeah, you're already there. Like,
yeah.
You're so on track. Yeah.
Yeah.
You tried telling her that though.
Yeah, I've been trying.
Same.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, like even for the half marathon, like I was fine.
Oh, over prepared by like 2 months.
Yeah. But mentally I was like, no, there must be one, which is like that perfection.
That's a testing,
yeah.
I know how to work with the testing.
It's the test
I just
thing.
told Tess that she's going to do like a 70k week before. She's like, I was like, Tess, you just did 50.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It's like 5 months away.
No worries.
Yeah.
Just smash it.
Even at the moment, you say you're resting and relaxing. You're doing 36k's a week.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
You got a marathon PB?
Nah, we were talking about this.
Yeah, it hasn't done one.
I don't even have a half like PB. I'm well out of my depth running Melbourne Marathon. Like,
you won't be.
Yeah,
You'll be
like
It's
fine.
going to be such a good day.
yeah, I don't. If I had to have like a half marathon PB, it's with a fair chunk of vert in it, and it's well over 2 hours. So like, I probably need to knuckle down soon. Maybe run Melbourne.
I reckon he's doing it.
See where I'm at. Because it's like
Harry's easy to bend like his arm if he gets some like good people with good vibe around him.
Yeah, a good team, and I'm there.
Yeah. Well, we're there. So
We got one.
It's true.
We
I think
out
it's
there.
a yes. I think he can say yes.
We working.
It's true. We'll see. I'm not saying yes.
I need to look down the eye.
I'm not
Yeah.
I need a firm.
We'll see.
If, for both you, let's say you both, in theory, were to do Run Melbourne. In theory, what would you want to run it in?
Well, this is going to sound rude, but faster than Tess. only because Tess has me one up at the moment
I
with
do.
her 10k
She does.
PB.
I'm
and
so stoked about that.
it's been one up for a long time now.
You know who you've got to beat? He's got to beat Ollie.
For what?
Half. Ollie's the competitive one.
Oh yeah, Ollie will chase you down.
That's going to be, and you two will get along really, really well.
yeah.
too,
No, it's
which
not
is
good.
Terrifying for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Imagine
Not
the
good.
three of us running together.
God.
That would
Terrifying.
like be hilarious.
But like, if you're going to run like with those guys, you're going to have to run faster than Ollie. Because Ollie's got this little...
Oh, I gotta
And he,
run. Does Ollie run faster than you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still not even faster than Tess, so I gotta get to that point first.
Well, like he runs faster than me, but on caffeine gels.
Yes. Yeah, man. We gave him his first gel last week. We were meant to do a 20k training run. Ollie turned that into a competitive half marathon.
I was like, I'm holding 450s, and he's like,
Go
I got
on.
so mad. Mitch rode up beside me.
You doing all right?
Because like I was here, and Ollie was probably like 10 or so meters ahead, and Mitch like came up onto the side and was like, "Oh, how you going?" And I was like,
On my bike, for reference, like I wasn't doing this.
He's just trotting
and
along.
we'd agreed at like halfway point. Yeah, we'll kind of hold 450s and on the way back.
Yeah.
and sub.
Just doing negative splits.
Yeah, negative split it.
Nice.
And I'm like 450, and like my heart rate's like
she was
170.
grumpy.
I was so grumpy because he'd like gone off, and I'm like holding what we'd been told to hold, and because I'm that perfectionist, I'm like, let's sit on that 450. But no,
Yeah, we gave him his first energy gel, his first sugar gel.
Just shot him.
it worked.
Man, it's like giving spinach to Popeye. He just went off, and he just
Oh,
didn't
they
stop.
are good.
He just kept going.
Yeah. And he, even after, he's like, dude, that made me feel so good. I was like, I told you that.
Did he sleep that night?
Yeah. And like he used to work confolks, so like he's used to being caffeinated.
He turned to me and he was like, "Tess, was that performance enhancing? Is that allowed? Am I allowed to have this?"
Have
Like
you had a caffeine gel?
No.
It would roll you, wouldn't it?
Absolutely
I would-
not happening.
Yeah.
I would be like, you know, that squirrel in what's that movie?
Oh, over the hedge.
Over the hedge.
Yeah.
I would be that guy.
Yeah.
I would
no,
not be okay.
We're strictly on the non-caffeine for this.
I would not be able to channel that energy
No.
into running.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a quick burnout, that is.
Yep. But no.
What do you want to run your half in around Melbourne? So
Sub
for
145?
context, what's it? 2 months away from you now? Yeah, 2
Yeah.
months.
Because, is 145 your PB?
Yeah.
130.
I don't know why you think I can do 130s.
What splits are 130s? Like 430s?
430s, yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it.
You ran the last 2K today at 430s.
Yeah,
can
it's
do it.
an
And you were still chatting to me.
Yeah,
You can do it.
we'll see.
All the speed work's just about to hit you in the forehead, so
Really?
yeah, we're going to have so much fun.
Oh my god.
We're
You're
just
gonna like
building this big ass fat aerobic base because I've had so much time to write this program. It's been great. And now you're just going to get all fast.
now speedy
Yeah, now fast.
That's what you want.
D mini
That's
fridge.
what you're in next. That's it. That's what you're in next.
Yeah.
It's a bit more anaerobic. That's a bit more.
I don't function well with anaerobic.
I know. That's why we're going to take a long
That's why you got to work on it.
Yeah.
We got Peninsula Running Fest next month.
Yep.
It's 18th, I think. 18th, 16th, one of them. That week. Then Run Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then
Virtus run.
Virtus Training Run. Yeah. Up in St Kilda.
Yep.
And then there's one more, isn't there? I'm missing one.
No, I thought we dropped.
Oh, we
one.
dropped the Berwick one. Yeah, we
Yeah.
dropped the Berwick one. And then,
It'll
Melbourne
be
Marathon.
like. Didn't you say like 35 will be my longest?
Yeah, 35. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to pack you out till October easy.
Yeah. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
35k peak long run, 70k peak week, and then just like fast as fuck. Like
It's just
for a month, and then we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that sounds good.
Then sub 3 hour marathon.
Yeah, done.
Tick, tick, tick.
You signed up sub 4 anyway, so you might as well go sub 3.
I think I even messaged you when I was signing
You weren't
up.
going to sign up sub 4, and I was like, do it.
Yeah, I was like, should I sign up sub 4 or
Sub
like above?
4, man, like, fuck. I'm not doing the full, but like, I'd hope I could do a sub 4.
I don't
I'm
know.
not doing the full though.
Yeah.
Next year.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's exciting though.
I'm just excited to like run with our group. Like it's going to be so much fun.
I am so excited for the day already, and it's like so far away, but we're building a nice big crew.
Yeah.
Like there's at least like 10, 15 already that are like, I'm in, I'm doing it. And then there's like another double, maybe 3 times that are like, like 1, 2, but I haven't started. So just like
Yeah.
get them in and them are off.
Are they all in the full?
Nah, there'll be 5 or 6 definite falls.
That'll bump up. That'll be 10 by the
Yeah,
day.
exactly. So like there's 5 or 6 definite falls, and there's probably about it's probably a dozen halves.
Yeah.
And then unsure about the 10 and the 5. It might be a lot of like partners of people who are doing the half and stuff who want to be involved, but
Yeah.
don't necessarily like love the running aspect of it. Mama Kaz do the 5, probably the 10.
Yeah, I reckon she's on for the 10.
I think she'd do the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be. I'm so excited for that day.
Yeah. It's going to be good. I'm also like keen for my Instagram feed to stop being runners.
Yeah, she's like in deep now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
should talk about this today.
Nah.
She is in deep.
Yeah, my
They
entire
are listening.
Yeah, my entire feed is like runners and like marathons and like
Oh,
people
like
showing their shoes.
you like
and,
suggested post kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Yeah, I'd like that to go back to normal, like bit of Harry Styles,
what is
bit of
normal?
Taylor Swift. Like, let's just relax on this a little bit.
You're in a different phase of life now.
I'm a runner now.
I'm a runner. Good tracks now.
Yeah.
Sick. What's the next event, Harry? Like, what's crazy? What do you want to do that you haven't done? Shoot for the moon, but also like realistic.
I feel like we were talking about this morning, running, weren't we? Yeah. Longer. Thinking. But I also don't have the motivation to sign up for anything. Like, I love my schedule at the moment. Like, if I get home from work and I don't want to go run, I don't go run kind of thing. And I know if I sign up for something bigger and longer, I go back into that block of getting home from work and having a pinch in 12Ks or anything like that. But I would love to go longer. The only scary thing about it that's holding me back is running alone at night. Potentially off track in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So there's a few. Doing a miler, as people call it, 100 miles, would be awesome.
Do you have an event you'd love to do, like in that area?
Once again, there's a few out my way that are good. One's November, so it won't be this year.
Yeah.
And then there's another one I think that's March. Usually sits around. But yeah, I don't want to pencil myself in yet. But I think I do want to go longer. And it's funny because 2 weeks after Stampede, I was telling everyone I was never running again.
Yeah,
So
I got a very aggressive message. Like, don't talk to me about running.
But I don't know, it just plays on your mind. And I still remember like the whole day and the highs and lows I went through. But the further you get out from it, you're like, I'd probably want to just put myself in that bin again.
Yeah.
See how much further it goes. So, because like I said, signing up for the 100, a lot of it was just curiosity and seeing if it was possible. And now you know it's possible. You're like, all right, well, where's the line? Like, honestly, I'd probably love to DNF something. I think that'd be the point where you're like, cool, like,
I found it.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
And then you worry about if you're like, I got to give it another crack. But that's like a later problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see if there's something longer that pops up. See if I get less scared of the dark before then. So.
We'll get you a head torch.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll help.
I love running.
A running nightlight?
Yeah, well, Stampede, I did 5 hours with a head torch on it in the dark. Oh, in the first hour of the morning with a head torch on. But yeah, by that point I was close enough to Bright where I was like, I know where I am. I'm home. I can see city lights and things like that. So funny also referring to Bright as a city, but anyway.
Those bright city lights calling me home.
Mountain man.
Yeah.
He's in too deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, longer. No set event, but longer.
Sick. What do you want to do besides Melbourne?
Well, post Melbourne, you know what I want to do.
Yeah.
So,
share with the people.
Triathlon. I want to try that.
Yeah. So exciting. But also not a chance in hell I'm doing it with you.
Oh, that's fine.
I just can't do it.
Are you thinking like Olympic full?
I don't even know.
I don't really know how triathlon
I
setups.
don't know how it works.
2XU sprint series. Like,
yeah.
You don't know this already, but she's going to just like roll straight into that after Melbourne Marathon because it's like December to Feb. Or
nice.
like November to Jan is like the 2XU sprint tri series.
How far is each leg?
I think the swim's 500, the ride is 20K, and the run's 5K. That's one of them.
Oh,
one of the easy ones. I think that, don't quote me on that, but like that's like pretty close to what it is. Like that's the sprint tri series.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little like test the waters of it. Then you build up to like your half and your fulls. And
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then Iron Woman after that.
You'll fit it. You'll suit it. You know, it goes with your tan. Like you're already halfway there. Don't see any pasty ass people doing it.
See how we go.
No, it is exciting.
Yeah. No, I'm keen to kind of, see what else I can do, like finding that edge. Challenge the body.
The limit.
Yeah. Yeah, see what it can do.
What if you never find it?
Then you just keep hunting.
There you go.
I think that's a more relevant question for you.
Yeah.
What if you never find it?
I think I'm pretty close to finding it. I don't know. Probably the same as Tess. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep hunting.
I know. I feel like even if you're not chasing it from a physical standpoint, you can always chase it from a different standpoint in your life, like learning a new skill or like I don't know, putting yourself out of your comfort zone. You can constantly do that and find your lines there.
Yeah. It's a good point as well. I think we're all much more capable physically than what we think. So these kind of endeavours are generally mental to see how much further you can go and how much further you can swim and ride and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I think my favourite part about all of that is like seeing someone else do it means that it's more achievable or attainable. Like, and like, I think that's the best part about like this place at the moment, of like Virtus at the moment, is like seeing more people have running Sundays, or like the MS Rock one roll we did last week. Like more people seeing that goes, oh, like I kind of want to get part of that too. And like this place being a community based gym, like that's my favourite part about doing all this stuff, is it just brings other people along with you who are naturally like being fit, healthy, strong, looking after their physical, mental health and things like that, but also just like being a part of something and doing it together and getting outside of their own comfort zone of, hey, I don't think I'd do this event by myself, but because you guys are doing it, like I'm into, and that's what I love about it. Like selfishly, like that's my favourite part about it all.
I take back everything I said about what I want to do next, and I want to do that. I want someone to have watched me do Stampede and be like, oh, it's pretty awesome. I think I could do that. And I want to be the person who's on the sideline, like pushing gels in their mouth, being like, keep on going.
That's what I also love. That's what I also love about like going on their training runs with these guys. Like getting on the bike is like that aspect of it, and just being like, I don't know, I guess being a part of it is probably like my thing. Yeah. But like on that note, like I've had a few people that I know start doing the 75 hard after me doing it like that. Yeah. I think I'm that cool. Like
it's awesome.
It's cool. You know? Yeah. And it's not something that I'm not doing it because I want other people to do it, but it's like it's a nice byproduct to see like the positive effect that it has on me, that other people can go through that as well.
Yeah.
And have me as like a network to bounce off. Like I had one of my mates who moved to Queensland, messaged me during the week, like, hey dude, how you going? And me being me, I just text back saying, what do you want? Like,
Straight to it.
Yeah, this is weird. Like, what do you want? Just get out. And he was asking me about that and like some things about that, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, it's awesome people coming up to me in the gym and asking me, well, A, about my running, but then like trying to kind of encourage them to give it a go or like inspire them to do it.
Kindly shove it down their throats of, let's do this.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing it for like the last 6 weeks. Just like anyone that we talk about running in the gym is like, hey, you coming to do this? You coming to do this? You coming to do this?
Yeah. And I feel like from your perspective, because like I've somewhat experienced it in what I'm doing at VIS, but it's like you tell me a split and I'm like, hell no way am I going to do that. And then I go out and do it easily and you're just like,
that's why we're here.
Yeah, like I feel like that's quite a cool thing in itself, like having like that community base where you've got everyone that's like backing you in.
Yeah. Even like I caught up with my friends for coffee the other day and we were talking about running and she just asked me how I was going with my running. She's like, oh, I haven't run. And I was like, give me your phone. And I literally gave her and set her program up on her phone then and there. I was like, oh, you're in now.
Yeah.
And terrified her, but we got it done.
You are part of the cult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This
is
Strava. Literally. Re-download Strava.
Yeah.
I mean, if Kat can get Strava, anything's possible.
Yeah, anything truly.
You don't know
possible.
Kat, but Kat is anti-social media for herself, has a business account that with the place she works at and stalks everyone else on.
Yeah.
But is anti-social. But she's on Strava now. So like that's the box ticked. She's on.
Yeah.
But you'll also love this is she went back through because she's got a Garmin, it auto connects across. And so I said, it uploaded all her previous data to Strava. And she went through and deleted it all.
Sat there.
Still doesn't want to be traced.
She literally sat there and deleted it all. I was like, Kat, you are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave it out there.
But Kat's a great example of someone who didn't run like at all. Started on the 1 to 5K program that I wrote, and she's like, she's gone through the 1 to 5K like 5 times over. Yeah. She's like, do the 1 to 5, then she'd do the 5 to 10, then she'd go back to the 1 to 5 and just like keep cycling it. But like, she's a runner now, like full blown runner.
I think I also love the part about running is like everyone's got their own little reasons for doing it. And it's so cool like learning those stories. Yep. So like I didn't know that it was a huge mental thing for you, which is awesome. Like for me, it was a huge thing in terms of like sort of mental, but sort of like body image stuff and like learning that my body is awesome in what it can do to purely run like 20 Ks. That's what I've done so far.
And then go play golf.
Yeah, like to know that my body can withstand that. It's like a huge
balls.
like yeah, I'm just like, oh, that's actually really cool. I should probably like look after this thing.
And Darren's a good example of that. Like for me right now, like obviously I'm going to look after Darren's program, but I'm so excited for him to get back into running. And I know he doesn't think it's possible. Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Everyone's got their own little things with running and they can all achieve it in their own different ways. And then you come together as a community and it's like, that's a really cool story.
And for the most part, obviously there's, you know, outside of this, there's some that can't, but like most people can run.
Yeah.
It's like left foot, right foot, left foot. Like don't fall over. Like you have to an extent the ability to run. It's just sometimes, and I saw this on a video today, that, like related to me a lot, was like sometimes you just got to take a step back and go, shit, yeah, I am unfit and I can't run, but I will get better at this, and it's just going to suck for a little bit. And like I think for me, going through that mindset, like that's what most people start with running.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time. Everyone says that they hate running. Like, and you've heard me say this 1,000 times on the floor. It's like people tell me they hate running. I'm like, yeah, you hate running because you suck at it.
Yeah, those people I don't reckon have ran for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like you're
Once
allowed to suck at it. That's part of the best part about, especially from a running point of view or anything for that matter, is being shit at it. Like you were talking about before, being shit at it to start with is so good for your own growth and just like well-being to get better at it.
Yeah.
And you just got to come to the point of, yeah, this does suck, and yes, I do suck at it, but I'm going to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And the biggest reward is going through those barriers.
Yeah.
And you would have known that with your run, any runs that you do. Like, yeah, shit gets hard, and it's just mentally, you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
And that's like the biggest character building thing of running, I think, is
100%.
just letting yourself know that you can do hard shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do more hard shit.
Yeah.
All between your ears.
Yeah. Oh, hugely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, even I felt it on the run the other day with 21K. I was just like, I'm getting mad. Like, I'm getting mad that
she's
I'm...
a mad runner.
Yeah.
She's a grumpy face runner.
Yeah, I know.
And I was just like, yeah. And I knew in that, like, moment, I was like, yeah, I'm going to finish. Like, I'm going to get to the end of this run and it's all going to be sweet. And it's like, I want to be, like, that mentally tough person that is able to just, like, back myself in and get it done.
Yeah, and it's super rewarding being mentally tough because it's so... It's a skill that's transferable across so many different things, whether that's work, life, sport, relationships, communication, like all of that stuff. Like the ability to be mentally tough about running takes over to communication of having tough, conversations at work, life, like all those things that pays you off in the long run because it's just moving the needle forward in what you want to get out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to finish up with some quick fire running questions. And I'm going to do these straight off the top of my dome. So good luck.
Here we go.
Ready? Favorite running shoes?
Solomon's.
Oh, I was never going to say that. Fashionable man.
At the moment, they're the Brooks launch, but I'm going to dabble in some Nikes.
Yeah, she is. She's
I need recommendations for road shoes though.
Well, at the Brooks launch. Yeah.
Can't wait to shop.
What are the ones I'm wanting? The Alpha Flies?
Alpha Flies. You just got to get over the hurdle of being a little bit of like
They're
out
so
there.
loud.
Yeah, they're proud.
They're
Anyway.
so colourful.
Quick fire. Shit. Favorite gel? Flavour?
Well, I've only had
I know
one.
you've only had one, but like, what would it be?
I'd love like a raspberry.
Raspberry?
Nah, there's what's the brand? Hulu.
Hulu.
They do a mocha one. Oh, good.
Mocha? Oh,
Yeah.
I can't do like the...
chocolate caffeine,
It's
good
like
as.
savoury sort
Yeah.
of
I
almost.
loved it.
Anyway.
So good.
I was actually going to ask something on that anyway, but we'll get to that. We'll talk about it after the podcast.
Cool.
Favorite snack running?
Banana.
Banana?
Mine's a little bit of muesli bar.
Bit of muesli bar?
Yeah.
Give me favorite running sock. So this is really contentious, actually. Running socks.
I got
Underrated and forgotten way too much about running. Everyone knows about the shoe, they forget about the sock.
Good aspect. I only run Steigans, and I'm trying to get Tess on board. They're awesome. They're so good.
You're not going to pry away from that.
Doesn't seem like it.
I used to run in Stargans. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they're
I'm
like
just,
the OG running sock.
yeah. Well, I was tempted the other day. But I'm in Lulu's at the moment.
Yeah, she's
I mean, anything lycra, good.
yeah. Anything like that, like Hyperflex cottony cushion, but don't slide type vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite place to run? I knew you'd find this hard.
Mount Feathertop.
Feather top.
That sounds bougie.
Yeah. What do you like about it?
So if you drive up the road to Hotham, you can park at a corner on the road. And then there's this section of trail called the Razorback, and it's just a ridge line all the way out to, I'd say Mount Feathertop's the most beautiful mountain we've got in Australia. And yeah, the fact you can run a Razorback out to it it's like 11 Ks to the summit, so half marathon loop to get back to your car kind of thing.
That's so cool.
And it's just drops off, views either side, beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Very
That
close.
sounds really good.
Come up.
Yeah, I will.
We're going up in winter. We've already talked about it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're having a
Oh yeah, just saying there was
trip.
a snow trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's in the pipeworks.
See you guys there.
Yeah.
It's in the pipeworks. Teach me not how to break a bone before I go to Japan.
Good luck.
Falling over so much.
Oh, I'm going to have so many bruises.
Like pure entertainment is just going to be me falling over all day. I would say I'm enjoying running along Dramana foreshore at the moment. It's just nice and flat, super
Flat,
chilled.
Mm.
Like you're right near the water as well. It's
Till
just-
Ollie starts cutting roads.
yeah, I was like, where the heck is he going?
Next question. Let's go with, what is the hardest thing you find about running?
That's good.
A bit more thought provoking, that one.
Yeah.
Mine's just getting started.
Yeah.
Just like,
Warming up.
Yeah, it's probably...
what's a warm up? The first 2K.
It is probably a good point. Hardest thing about... mornings probably.
Yeah.
I'm not a morning person at all.
Yeah.
They're getting colder and colder as well. So.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. I love it when it gets colder. Like, that gets me up. I know I'm crazy.
I
What's
just
the
want to like
easiest
curl
part?
up in a ball.
What's the easiest part of running?
I love it when you're cruising and you're just like,
Floating.
this is, yeah,
Flow state.
yeah, this is awesome. And you're like, your brain's like clear, you're all in files, like it's so good.
Yeah, probably that kind of flow state. There's lots of little sections around Mount Beauty I can run around the mountain bike park, and I always find myself, if like there's a little like side hit that I'd usually hit on my bike, if I don't run the side hit as well, I'm like, what's the point? Like, I'm out here to have fun and enjoy this. Like, I got to do that, and like I always do it, and because I know I'll kick myself if I don't do it. I'll be like, you're taking it too serious.
Yeah, it's also really cool. I'm not sure if you guys have experienced this, but when you run and you might like, I don't know, like dodge a puddle or like almost like do your ankle or something, and you just like laugh at yourself.
Oh, I do it when I actually step my foot in a pothole and then do my ankle. I don't have, like, I'm missing one ligament on both sides. So like, I can just like roll it over and just like, oh yeah, dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, those little moments where you like laugh at yourself and you're like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Hat or no hat?
Hat. Just because no hair.
Yeah. No hat.
No hat.
She's no hat girl. That one.
What about a visor?
No.
No.
Not enough. Mount Martha elbow.
No.
Not
Apparently
about
I need to
mum
get
yet.
sunnies though.
Nah.
No, that was actually going to be one of my next questions: sunnies or no sunnies?
No sunnies.
Yeah.
No sunnies.
Nah.
No sunnies either.
Sorry, Paige.
Yeah. Probably not good for your eyes in the long run, but oh well.
Yeah, I'm like full squinting. My
Yeah.
eyesight's already horrendous as it is.
Yeah, you say that again. I did have one more question, but I think we're going to leave that there. How'd you find it, Harry? First podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
Do it in your spare time.
No, first one for sure. First one.
What'd you like about it? I like a bit of, we were talking about reflection before.
Yeah,
I like
don't
to do
do
this
enough.
but I like to do this on the podcast anyway,
Yeah.
because normally the guests that I talk to aren't necessarily forward in coming on.
Yeah. I liked that it was you two. Pump up your tyres there. Made it much easier. I don't know. I think it's good to share some certain aspects of it. Like, it's interesting you didn't know that I run for my mental health, even though we've shared a lot of time together, not running together, but talking about it together. So, I don't know, it was nice to get a couple of those things out to you too and, hear why you guys do it as well and what makes you both tick. So, I don't think we would have had this conversation if it wasn't in podcast form, so it's good to hear.
It's a good modality for that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What did you talk about that you didn't think you were going to talk about?
Well, I did know I was going to talk about band camp.
We knew band camp was coming up.
Yeah, that probably.
You're going to recommend 2 people for the podcast. Who would they be?
Well, Courtney DeWalter, love of my life.
I'll just ring her up.
Yeah, see if you can
On
get her
speed
on.
dial.
Hey, challenge accepted. I'll do that shit by Zoom. Actually, hang on. I'm going to America next year.
There you go. Chuck her on.
Yeah,
Take a couple of headsets.
Yeah.
Do this with me.
And I haven't seen a Mayrose episode yet. So,
That is coming.
Yeah.
Mayrose had some life things we had to get through first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We're through it. We're good.
you might as well get Mum on at the same time.
Oh, that's coming. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that. And you're
Actually-
not allowed in the room.
Oh, I was just going to say, just get a Rolly podcast going. Get them all in here.
That'd be
Banjo,
chaos.
Clancy,
Oh,
Yeah,
dog
perfect.
days.
Wayno.
Yeah.
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 It would be mayhem.
I'm so okay with mayhem.
I would have no idea what you would get out of it.
That's
But
the whole part of it. You
Yeah.
know, as I said to you, Tess asked me, "So, what are we going to talk about?" I said, "Tess, I haven't even thought about it yet."
Good. Yeah, well, she was trying to raise me up. She's like, has Mitch told you what he's going to ask? And I was like, no, I don't know if he
knows
knows
that I
yet.
it's like, yeah.
That's Tess being a little turd.
Yeah, in my head, I was like, does he always like pre-prepare people? Like, am I,
I was
getting
like,
stitched up?
I got 10 questions.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I know what? We know what? Didn't turn out too badly, did it?
That's all right.
You did well.
And on that note, Harry, I have a surprise for you.
Have a good day.